What the heck is going on in the trade market this offseason? First, we had a former top 10 prospect, Grayson Rodriguez, getting moved for a rental and Taylor Ward, and now we have two big contracts getting swapped between the Mets and the Rangers, with Marcus Semien going to the Mets and Brandon Nimmo going to the Rangers. There's a lot to unpack here, so let's get to it. I say we start with the Rangers, who decided to move Semien after signing a long-term deal back 4 years ago and just won a World Series with him back in 2023. Now, first off, why would the Rangers want to move Semien? Well, for a while now, we've been getting reports that they've been struggling with TV revenue, and this offseason, we've gotten reports that they could be looking to cut even more payroll. Now, you might be asking, Robbie, how are the Rangers cutting payroll when they're getting back Brandon Nimmo, who has 5 years and just over $100 million left on his contract? Well, even though Semien has less time and money remaining, 3 years and $72 million overall, Nimmo has the lower AAV at $20.5 million per year, while Semien's AAV was $25 million before getting moved. Now, even though the Rangers are taking on more money and a larger contract overall, since it's spread out more, it's going to save them around $4.5 million per year, and also the Mets are sending a little bit of extra cash, $5 million back to the Rangers. Now, I don't know if this pushes the Rangers to go out there and spend in free agency, even after clearing up a little bit of payroll space, but if they were to do so, they are now $50 million under the first CBT if they choose to go that route. Now, when it comes to actual performance, I don't think it's a big surprise to the Rangers wanting to move on here, especially if they could cut some payroll in the process. Now, Semien's bat had really fallen off over the last couple of years, only hitting .234 with an OPS under 700 since 2024. The Rangers' offense this year was not very good. They had a lot of ups and downs, only ranking 24th this past year, so they needed to make some changes. Now, Nimmo is definitely going to be able to help that. He's been one of the more solid bats in the game for a while now, had an OPS of 760 last year, and he's definitely going to be an upgrade over Adolis Garcia, who they just non-tendered not too long ago. He only had a WRC plus of 83 last year, so Nimmo is going to be an upgrade for the Rangers moving forward. This is going to help them find more consistency, especially out of the leadoff spot, where they only had a .305 on-base percentage last year, which only ranked 26th in all of Major League Baseball. I also think the Rangers are going to be well off without Semien moving forward, since they have guys like Josh Smith who can slide right into second base, and maybe their top prospect, Sebastian Walcott, can find some playing time there in 2026. Overall, I like this a lot for the Rangers. I think it's going to improve their offense moving forward. It clears up a little bit of payroll space. If they wanted to go make some moves in free agency, not sure what they're going to do there, but even so, it does help clear some payroll while getting a solid bat in Brandon Nimmo. It's going to give more consistent playing time to Josh Smith and could give a chance for Sebastian Walcott this coming year. Now let's get to the Mets, and Mets fans out there might be thinking, what the heck are we doing giving up one of our better bats for Marcus Semien? Well, after collapsing in September this past year to miss the postseason, I didn't expect David Stearns to go out there and spend a whole bunch of money to fix it. I've actually mentioned a few times here on this channel what I thought he would do instead, and that was get creative by improving on the little things. Now, sure, Nimmo was a solid bat, but one thing the Mets really needed to improve on was their defense. Overall, the Mets ranked 21st in outs above average last year, 23rd in the outfield, and 15th in the infield. Now, Nimmo wasn't their worst defender by any means, but he had -1 outs above average out in the outfield, while Semien had 7 at second base. This shores up the Mets middle infield a ton and gives them arguably the best defensive middle infield in all of baseball with Francisco Lindor and Semien. Now, as for the outfield, Jeff McNeil projects to go out to left field as of right now, but I actually think he could end up getting moved. He's been on the trade block this offseason, and I think that could make things very interesting for the Mets. Now, sure, their lineup gets a bit weaker here, but I don't think it has to stay that way for very long. Let me explain. Now, getting back to the contracts, Nimmo had 5 years and a little over $100 million left on that deal. Sure, they are taking on the last few years of Semien's contract, but that's basically a short-term deal now. This gives the Mets some flexibility to add on another long-term contract, and there just so happens to be some outfielders on the open market. Now, would they go after Kyle Tucker? I mean, anything's possible with Steve Cohen, but after just signing Juan Soto to the richest contract in baseball history last year, and Tucker looking to become one of the highest paid players in the game this offseason, I feel like that might be a bit of a stretch. And another thing, too, is I think Stearns is looking to improve the defense even further. Now, with Tucker, he's not a bad defensive player, but he wasn't amazing this past year with only -2 outs above average. This gets me to Cody Bellinger, who's still going to be pricey, but cheaper than Tucker, and probably going to get less years on a contract. Now, with Bellinger last year, he had a solid year with the Yankees, hitting .272 with a .334 on base, a .480 on the slugging, a .125 WRC+, a 4.9 F-WAR overall. That F-WAR is the combination of his good offense and good defense last year. He had 6 outs above average overall in the outfield, and another thing with Bellinger is he can play first base, and if Pete Alonso ends up going elsewhere, his versatility could be huge for the Mets moving forward. Now, one thing I do worry about with Bellinger is he hit a lot better at Yankee Stadium last year, posting a 152 WRC+ there, while only having a 97 on the road. But on StatCast, his expected home runs still came out to 25 at Citi Field, so I think he would end up being fine, and his good defense in the outfield should make up for the rest, along with his good versatility going between the outfield and first base. Now, overall, I think this was a bit of a weird trade at first glance, especially from the Mets side. I was thinking to myself, why are they trading one of their better bats in Brandon Nimmo to get back Marcus Semien, who hasn't been very good with the bat over the last couple of years? But after thinking about it a little bit more, I think this trade could be very good for both teams in the long run. The Rangers get a better bat in Nimmo that's going to help them be a bit more consistent with the offense, and especially leading off games. They're going to clear a little bit of payroll space here to potentially add more if they want to go that route, and it clears up some playing time for other guys like Josh Smith to play a bit more consistently at one position, and maybe even Sebastian Walcott at some point if he earns a call-up. Now, for the Mets, like I said, it did look a little weird at first glance, but we got a lot of offseason left, and I think the Mets could look a lot better in 2026. I think this is just the first stepping stone here. Now, right now, sure, the lineup is getting a bit weaker, but they're getting a lot better defensively, especially at second base, and could get a lot better defensively in the outfield if they landed someone like Cody Bellinger. Either way, they're opening up some flexibility here to bring on another long-term contract to replace Nimmo. So, hey, you know what? I'll take Marcus Semien's good defense at second base. You got Lindor, Semien up the middle. I think that's very good. And you could open up the possibility here to add someone like Kyle Tucker, Cody Bellinger, whoever else. I think, again, this is the first stepping stone for the Mets in what could end up being a very good offseason. But overall, I like this trade for both sides. I think the Rangers did a great job here getting a very good bat in Brandon Nimmo. And again, they clear up a little bit of space both on the payroll and just within the organization when it comes to playing time. I like this for both sides. Let me know what you think down below in the comments. Who do you think won this trade? Let me know everything you got down below in the comments. But everybody, that's all I got for right now. If you can on the way out, hit the like button, subscribe if you're new, and I'll talk to you next time.